Rain. Border fence. 2 a.m. Naya hit the sensor perimeter at a dead sprint and collapsed against the marker post. Blood ran from the claw wound on her forearm, mixing with rain, dripping onto the gravel. Behind her, 3 miles of forest and the wolves who'd chased her through it. They wouldn't cross. Crescent Bay territory was too powerful. That's why she'd run here. Flashlights. 3 wolves in tactical gear materialized from the tree line, guns drawn, professional. "Don't move." She made herself small, dropped her eyes, hunched her shoulders. "Please." Her voice cracked perfectly. She'd practiced this. 5 years of practice. "Rogues attacked our camp. I'm just an Omega. I was traveling alone." The patrol leader radioed in. "Standard refugee intake." He was halfway through the protocol when a voice came from the darkness behind the patrol, unhurried, almost amused. "Start from the beginning." The patrol straightened, all 3 of them, like puppets jerked to attention. He stepped into the flashlight beam, dark jacket, hands in pockets, rain running down his face like he hadn't noticed it. Like 2 a.m. border breaches were a casual inconvenience in an otherwise pleasant evening. He crouched in front of her, close enough that she could smell him, cedar and something warm underneath that made the wolf inside her chest slam forward so hard she nearly choked. "You're bleeding," he said. "It's nothing." "It's a 6-inch claw wound. That's a weird definition of nothing." He tilted his head. Dark eyes. A dimple appeared on his left cheek when he almost smiled. "Name?" "Naya." "Last name?" "Just Naya." "Nobody is just anything." He studied her face. The rain ran between them. "Where were you heading?" "Anywhere. That's not a destination. It is when everywhere else wants you dead." Something shifted in his expression. The almost smile faded into something sharper. "Look at me," he said. She did. Mistake. Her eyes locked onto his, steady, direct, unflinching. The eye contact of someone who gives orders, not someone who takes them. Omega's flinch, she held. "You're lying about something," he said. Her blood went cold. I didn't say everything, just something." The dimple returned. "Lucky for you, I like puzzles." He stood, turned to the patrol. "Bring her in. Medical first, then intake. And if the rogues, they won't cross the border." "They know better." He glanced back at her one more time, those dark eyes cataloging, filing, enjoying. "She stays." He walked into the rain, unhurried, hands still in his pockets. His scent lingered after he disappeared. Naya's wolf, suppressed for 5 years, beaten into silence, chained behind military-grade scent blockers and sheer will, threw herself against Naya's ribs with a force that buckled her knees. Not fear, not submission, recognition. Naya shoved her down so hard her vision spotted. No, not now, not ever. Her wolf didn't listen. Her wolf never listened. She just got louder. Morning. The Crescent Bay compound was everything Naya expected and nothing she wanted. Modern estate behind security fencing, glass and concrete, manicured grounds, camera coverage on every angle. A corporate campus run by wolves who'd replaced howling at the moon with quarterly earnings reports. They put her in the East Wing, Omega quarters, clean, sparse. A bed, a desk, a window with a view of the parking structure. She was assigned kitchen detail, cleaning, serving, invisible work. She took it without complaint. By noon, she'd mapped the compound. Exits, 4 plus 2 emergency routes through the maintenance tunnels. Guard rotations, every 90 minutes, staggered. Camera blind spots, 3, all in the East Wing corridors. 5 years of running had made her very good at knowing how to leave. She was cataloging the 4th exit when she passed a glass wall and stopped. Through it, a conference room. Reese, surrounded by his counsel. He was laughing at something someone said. That smile, wide, warm. The dimple deep in his cheek. The smile didn't reach his eyes. She recognized it. The performance of a man who'd learned that charm was cheaper than honesty and twice as effective. She turned away. "Enjoying the view?" The voice came from behind her. Naya turned. A woman stood in the corridor, tall, immaculate, dark hair swept back, dressed in the kind of understated luxury that whispered money without raising its voice. "I was looking for the supply room," Naya said. "It's behind you." It was. Naya hadn't been looking for it. "You're the refugee from last night." The woman's tone was warm. Her eyes were measuring tape. "I'm Marin, future Luna." "Nice to meet you, ma'am." "I'm not ma'am." The warmth stayed. The measurement continued. "You're the one Reese personally brought in." "The patrol brought me in." "The patrol brings in refugees every month. The Alpha doesn't come to the border at 2 a.m. for any of them." Her smile was precise. "How interesting." She walked away, heels clicking on polished concrete. Naya exhaled. 12 hours. She'd been here 12 hours and she was already on 2 radars. Evening, main hall. Naya was sweeping after packed dinner. The hall was empty, dim lighting, the hum of the climate system. "You move wrong," she spun. Reese sat on the edge of a dining table, a glass of something amber in his hand. Like he'd been there for hours. He hadn't. She would have heard him. The fact that she didn't was a problem. "Excuse me?" "For an Omega, you move wrong." He sipped. Casual, observational, like he was reviewing footage. Omegas shuffle. Head down, small steps. You walk from the hips, long stride like someone who's used to people getting out of her way. "Maybe I'm just tall." "You're 5'7". That's not tall." "Maybe nobody taught me to shuffle." "Maybe." The glass turned in his fingers. Those dark eyes over the rim. "Your scent is wrong, too." Her grip on the broom tightened. "It's masked," he said. "Not naturally, deliberately, like you're using something to cover what's underneath." "I use a scent blocker. Lots of Omegas do, for safety." "Lots of Omegas do," he agreed. "But they use it to mask vulnerability. You're masking something else." The clock on the wall ticked. Once, twice. "Am I in trouble?" she asked. "Should you be?" "I haven't done anything wrong." "That's not what I asked." Silence. His eyes held hers. She should look down. Submit. Be small. She didn't. He noticed. "I'm going to figure you out, Naya." Conversational. Almost friendly. The way a cat is friendly with a mouse it hasn't decided to eat yet. "Might take a day, might take a week, but I will." "And then what?" "Depends on what I find." He stood, walked toward the door, paused. "The supply closet is on the left side of the east corridor, by the way, not behind you in the main hall." He knew. The window. He'd been watching through the conference room glass when Marin confronted her. He'd been watching all day. He left. The dimple flashed. The door clicked shut. Naya stood in the empty hall, gripping the broom, her heart hammering in her teeth. 3 days. She kept her head down, worked, disappeared into the role. But twice she'd looked up and found him watching from across a room. Both times he smiled. Both times she looked away first. She hated that she looked away first. The kitchen, 1 a.m. She was making tea, chamomile, a habit from before, from when she was someone else, when the kettle sound could mask the memory of screaming. He appeared in the doorway. Neither of them was surprised. This was the 3rd midnight kitchen. Coincidence had stopped being the explanation 2 nights ago. "Chamomile," he said, leaning against the counter. "That's an old pack recipe, the way you steep it. Leaves in first, then water, not the other way. My grandmother did it the same way." "It's just tea." "Nothing is just anything. We established that." She poured. He watched. The kitchen was industrial. Stainless steel, emergency lighting, refrigerators humming, the least romantic room in the compound. And yet, "Why are you here?" she asked. "At 1 a.m. again." "Don't sleep well." "Alpha of the most powerful pack in the East and you can't sleep? Ironic, isn't it?" He poured himself water. Not the whiskey from the first night. She noticed. "My father slept like the dead. Could close his eyes anywhere. I envied that." "What happened to him?" "Died 5 years ago. Heart attack in his office. Very undramatic for a wolf." The words were rehearsed, delivered casually, the way people deliver things they've practiced making casual. "You do that too," she said. Do what? Perform. Say things like they don't hurt and hope if you say it enough times it becomes true. His glass stopped moving. That's a very specific observation, he said slowly. From someone I've known for 3 days. Maybe I recognize it. Because you do it too? She'd said too much. The ice was cracking under her feet. She could hear it. The hairline fractures spreading outward from every honest word. It's late, she said. Stood, reached for her cup. His hand was on the counter near hers, an inch of space. She could feel the heat in that inch, a physical thing, alive, pulling. The fine hairs on her arms stood up, her wolf pressed forward, not slamming now, pressing, steady, certain. He looked at her hand, at the inch, at her face. You don't have to run, he said. Different voice, no charm, no performance, low and rough and unprotected, the real one. She'd heard it once before, at the border for half a second before the mask slid back. I'm not running. I'm going to bed. Same thing. She took her cup, walked past him, close, too close. His scent filled her lungs and her wolf howled. In the doorway, she stopped. You don't sleep well because you spend all night being someone you're not, she said without turning. It's exhausting. I would know. She left. Reese stood in the kitchen after she was gone. His hand hadn't moved from the counter. The space where her hand had been was still warm. Or he imagined it was. His phone buzzed. Jace. You were in the kitchen with the Omega. Again. My room is above it. I can hear you talking. We need to have a conversation. He typed. There's nothing to talk about. He stared at it, deleted it, put the phone away, because they both knew he was lying. Morning, Reese's office, glass desk, clean lines. Jace walked in without knocking. He closed the door. 4 times. Good morning to you too, Jace. You've talked to the Omega 4 times this week. You've talked to Marin once. You want to tell me nothing's happening, or do you want to keep lying to the one person who's never lied to you? Reese leaned back, the smile. She's a refugee. I'm being welcoming. You don't do welcoming, you do strategic. So what's the strategy with the Omega who smells wrong, walks wrong, and makes you wander to the kitchen at 1 a.m.? I think she's hiding something. Obviously she's hiding something. The question is why you're personally investigating instead of handing it to me. Because you'd interrogate her. And you're being subtle? I'm being thorough. You're being interested. There's a difference. Jace sat. Marin asked about her yesterday. Reese went still. Where the refugee sleeps, what she's assigned, how long she's staying, all very casual, all very Marin. Jace paused. She's not stupid. She sees you watching the girl, and she's spent 6 years earning the Luna title. She's not going to lose it quietly. She's not going to lose it at all. Good. Then stay out of the kitchen at 1 a.m. Jace stood, walked to the door, stopped. One more thing. The refugee's scent blocker. I've smelled it before. It's military grade, the kind our special ops teams use for deep cover operations. Silence. Omegas don't have access to military-grade scent suppression, Reese. Whoever she is, she's not what she's claiming. And you know it. He left. Reese stared at the closed door. His phone showed 3 unread messages from Marin. He didn't open them. Pack social gathering, monthly, Marin's event. Oh, she organized everything. The catering, the seating, the politics. She was good at it. That's what made her dangerous. Competence in the service of ambition. Naya was serving. Trays, glasses, invisible. Marin intercepted her in the kitchen hallway. You're settling in well. Thank you. The other Omegas like you. You're quiet, helpful. She held out a glass of wine. Here, you've been working all night. Naya hesitated. This could be kindness. This could be a trap. She took the glass, because the part of her that had been invisible for 5 years was starving to be treated like a person. That hunger overrode her instincts. It always did. It was her flaw, and she knew it was her flaw, and she took the glass anyway. Where did you grow up? Marin asked. Warm, conversational. Small pack in the south, near the Ember Ridge territory. Ember Ridge? Beautiful area. Marin sipped. Do they still do the salt circle bonding ceremonies down there? My aunt was from Ember Ridge. She always talked about the salt circles. Yes, Naya said. They still do them. 3 circles for a mating bond, 1 for a pack oath. The words came out automatically. Natural, specific, and wrong. Because only someone who'd actually attended salt circle ceremonies would know there were 3 for a mating bond. Naya's cover story said she was from a different southern pack, one that didn't use salt circles. She'd slipped. 1 sentence, 1 specific detail. Marin's expression didn't change, not even a flicker. How lovely, she said. I'll have to tell my aunt. She took the wine glass from Naya's hand, walked back to the party. You should get back to serving. Naya stood in the hallway and felt the first crack in 5 years of perfect invisibility. 1 sentence, 1 detail, 1 glass of wine she shouldn't have accepted from a woman she shouldn't have trusted. Late night, after the gathering. She was walking back to her quarters when she passed the gym. Lights on, Reese, alone, heavy bag, bare knuckles, no wraps. The skin on his knuckles was split and bleeding. He hadn't noticed or didn't care. This wasn't the alpha, not the chess player, not the charming smile with the dimple. A man hitting something because he couldn't hit the thing actually hurting him. She should walk past. You're bleeding. He didn't stop. Occupational hazard. Of what? Being an idiot? He stopped, looked at her, breathing hard, sweat on his face. The gym light was flat and harsh and made them both look exactly as raw as they were. Did you just call the alpha an idiot? You're hitting a bag with no wraps at midnight, if the shoe fits. He stared, then laughed. A real laugh. Not the performance. Something surprised and involuntary and rough. She'd never heard him make that sound. First aid kit's in the cabinet, she said. Sit down. He sat on the weight bench. She brought the kit, knelt in front of him, took his hand. His skin was warm. His pulse was fast under her fingers, faster than it should be from the bag. She cleaned the splits on his knuckles, wrapped them, methodical, careful. Their heads were close. She could count his eyelashes if she lost her mind enough to try. Marin talked to you tonight, he said. Not a question. She was friendly. Marin is never friendly. She's strategic. His voice dropped low. What did she ask? Where I'm from, my pack. What did you tell her? The truth. No, you didn't. She looked up. His face was inches away. Dark eyes, no smile, no charm, no dimple. Just him, the real one. The one who only existed in kitchens and gyms after midnight. You don't know what my truth is, she whispered. I know it's not what you told her. I know it's not what you told my patrol. I know your scent blocker is military grade. His voice dropped further, almost inaudible. And I know you flinch when someone mentions the Ashbourne massacre. Her hands went still on his knuckles. I'm not going to ask you, he said. Not yet, because I think you'll run, and He stopped. His jaw worked. And you what? I don't want you to run. 4 inches between their faces. 3. His eyes dropped to her mouth. His phone rang. Neither moved. It rang again. Again. That's Jace, she whispered. You should answer. I should do a lot of things. 3rd ring. 4th. He leaned back, pulled the phone. The mask slid on, instant, seamless, terrifying in how fast it happened. Jace, what's burning? Naya stood, picked up the kit, walked to the door, turned back. He was on the phone, but his eyes were on her, dark, unreadable. The dimple was nowhere. She left. In the corridor, she pressed her back against the wall, put her hand over her mouth. Her wolf was throwing herself against the cage, not in panic, in fury, in certainty. 4 inches. If that phone hadn't rung, she pushed off the wall, walked to her room. He didn't look back. Next day, a theft from compound stores. Evidence pointed to Omega quarters. The security chief lined up every Omega in the East Wing. Naya knew who did it. A girl named Tessa, 16, stealing food to send to her sick brother outside the territory. Naya had seen her, said nothing. The security chief demanded answers. Nobody spoke. He threatened reduced rations, Work detail, individual interrogation. Naya looked at Tessa. 16, shaking, trying to disappear into the wall. She remembered being 17, running, alone, nobody stepping forward. The math was simple. If she spoke up to defend Tessa, questions would follow, scrutiny, attention, everything she'd spent 5 years avoiding. If she stayed quiet, a 16-year-old girl would be thrown out alone. 3 seconds. The same 3 seconds that seemed to define the worst and best moments of a person's life. "It was me," Naya said. The room went silent. The security chief stared. Reese, leaning in the doorway, because of course he was, went completely still. "You stole the supplies? I needed them." "For what?" She didn't answer. Behind her, Tessa's breathing changed. Relief, guilt, gratitude, all of it silent. "Everyone out," Reese said. The security chief opened his mouth, closed it. Everyone filed out. Tessa glanced at Naya once, eyes bright, terrified, grateful, and disappeared. Door closed. Just them. "You didn't steal the supplies," Reese said. "How would you? Because you were in the kitchen with me at the time, which we both know, which the cameras will confirm." Silence. "So why are you confessing to something you didn't do?" "Maybe I did." "Naya." No charm, just her name, said like it mattered. "Who are you protecting?" She didn't answer. He stepped closer, close enough that his scent hit her and her wolf lunged. "You took the fall for someone, which means you care more about a girl you've known for a week than your own safety." His dark eyes searched hers. "That's not Omega behavior. That's... Don't! Leadership!" The word hit her like cold water, because he was right. Stepping forward, taking the fall, protecting the vulnerable at cost to yourself. That was alpha behavior. She'd done it without thinking. The mask had slipped, not off her scent, not off her walk, off her instincts. "I need to tell you something," he said, "about what I..." The door opened. Jace. Alpha. Northern Council. "A video call, they won't wait." Reese didn't move. His eyes stayed on Naya. "Reese!" Jace's voice hardened. "Now!" He went. At the door, he looked back. His mouth opened, closed, something unfinished in his expression, a sentence caught behind his teeth. The door shut. Naya stood alone in the room and replayed 2 words. I need to tell you something." "What?" What did he need? She'd listen for another 10 minutes to find out. She'd listen forever. Marin moved faster than Naya expected. The small detail, the salt circles, 3 for a mating bond. Only someone from the southern Ashbourne-adjacent territories would know that. Marin had cross-referenced, done her homework, added it to the military-grade scent blocker, the timing of Naya's arrival, the proximity to the Ashbourne massacre site. Marin didn't go to Reese. She went to the council, over his head, smart, because going to Reese meant giving him the chance to bury it. Naya heard it through the council room door. Omega invisibility. The one advantage of being nothing is that nobody watches where nothing goes. Marin's voice, clear and controlled. "I'm not saying she's Ashbourne, I'm saying she could be. The timing, the origin, the scent suppression. If there's even a chance a surviving Ashbourne heir is hiding in our pack, we need to know. The people who destroyed that bloodline are still active. If they find out we're harboring..." The council elder, a man named Corvin, visiting from the Northern Territory. "What are you suggesting?" "A formal identification, blood test, scent analysis. If she's just an Omega, the test clears her. If she's not, we have a very different situation." Naya's hand on the wall was shaking. 5 years. 5 years of being nobody, ending because she accepted a glass of wine from a woman she wanted to like and said one sentence too many about salt circles. She had maybe 24 hours before the test. She needed to run, tonight. But if she ran, she left Tessa, left the kitchen at midnight, left the 4 inches and the unfinished sentence and the man who saw through her and wanted to keep looking. Left him. Her wolf did something she hadn't done in 5 years. She pushed forward. Not with the desperate lunging, with authority, with the calm, immovable certainty of an animal that was done being caged. "Stay," her wolf said. "Fight." "I can't," Naya whispered. "You've been surviving for 5 years. When are you going to start living?" Night. Her room, bag on the bed, light pack, essentials. She'd done this dozens of times. She could disappear in under 4 minutes. Going somewhere? Reese, doorway, shoulder against the frame, no smile, no charm, no performance, just him. "I have to leave," she said. "Why?" "You know why. You've known since the first night." He stepped in, closed the door, leaned against it. "Then say it, out loud, to me." "Reese, you've been hiding for 5 years, lying to everyone, being so good at invisible that you forgot you're a person." His voice was shaking. The charm was gone. The mask was gone. What was underneath was raw and terrified and real. "I have watched you for 2 weeks. I've watched you protect a girl you barely know, hold my gaze when Omegas look away, walk like someone who used to own the ground she stood on." He pushed off the door, stepped closer. "So say it, because I'm not going to say it first. You need to choose this." She looked at him. Dark eyes meeting dark eyes. 2 people who'd been performing their entire adult lives, standing in a room with one bag and one closed door, and the truth hanging between them like a held breath. "My name is Naya Ashbourne." Her voice didn't shake. "I am the last surviving heir of the Ashbourne Alpha bloodline. I've been suppressing my wolf for 5 years to stay alive." She reached behind her ear, pulled the scent suppressor, a small medical patch, nearly invisible, peeled it away. Her real scent flooded the room. Reese's reaction was physical. His body jerked, his eyes blew wide, his hands slammed flat against the door behind him, not fear. The bond. The mate bond hitting him at full force for the first time, no blocker between it and detonation. The recognition crashed through both of them, a wave, a wall, 5 years of suppression and 2 weeks of denial collapsing into one undeniable, devastating truth. "Mate." "You knew," she said. "How long?" "Suspected from the border." He swallowed. "Knew when you flinched at the Ashbourne name." "You should have reported me to the council." "Probably." "Should have told Jace." "Definitely." "Why didn't you?" He pushed off the door, walked toward her, slowly, giving her space to run. She didn't run. He stopped in front of her, close, the same 4 inches, but no phone, no Jace, no interruption. "Because I need to tell you something," he said. "The thing I was going to say before Jace walked in." "Say it." "I stopped performing the moment I met you. Every conversation, every midnight kitchen, every time you saw through me and said it to my face." His hand rose, hovered near her jaw, not touching. "You're the only person who's ever made me want to be real, and I'm terrified, because I don't know who I am underneath the act, but I know I want to find out, and I know I want you there when I do." His hand was trembling. The alpha of the most powerful pack in the Eastern Territory was trembling in front of an Omega who'd just told him she was the most hunted woman alive. She closed the distance, put her hand on his chest. His heart was slamming. "You're shaking," she said. "See, I know. The most powerful alpha in the East. I know. Because of me. Because of you." She kissed him. Not soft, not careful. The kiss of a woman who'd been hiding for 5 years and had decided in this room, with this man, to stop. The bond ignited. The air between them vibrated with it, not heat, not light, something deeper, something that had been waiting since before they were born. When they pulled apart, he pressed his forehead against hers. "They're going to come for you," he said. "The council, Marin, the people who destroyed your family." "I know. I'll be standing in front of you when they do." "No." She pulled back, met his eyes. "You'll be standing beside me." The dimple appeared. For the first time since she'd known him, the smile reached his eyes. Morning, council chamber, glass table, modern, cold. Reese at the head, Marin at his right, composed, prepared, dressed for battle in silk. Jace behind Reese's chair, and Corvin, the Northern Council elder, silver-haired, powerful, seated with his own security detail. They called for the Omega. Naya walked in, not shuffling, not small, not invisible. She walked the way she walked before her pack was destroyed, from the hips, long stride, eyes forward, same simple clothes. Nothing about her appearance had changed. Everything about her presence had. The scent blocker was gone. Her real scent filled the room. Every wolf went rigid, because the scent of an Ashbourne alpha was unmistakable, ancient, powerful, a bloodline that predated every pack at the table. Corvin went white. "That's impossible," he breathed. "We confirmed the bloodline was extinct." "You confirmed what you wanted to confirm," Naya said. "You weren't very thorough." The room erupted. Council members over each other, Marin's face cycling through shock, fury, and calculation in 3 seconds flat. Reese didn't move. He sat at the head and watched Naya take the room apart with nothing but her presence and her voice. "5 years ago," she said, "my pack was massacred. 23 wolves, my parents, my brother. I was 17. I ran." She looked at Corvin. "You authorized it, or you looked the other way. Either makes you responsible." Corvin started blustering. She cut him off without raising her voice. "I'm not here for revenge. I'm here because hiding means they won. And I refuse to let the people who killed my family decide how I live the rest of my life." She faced the full council. "My name is Naya Ashbourne. I am the last of my bloodline, and I am done hiding." Marin stood. "This doesn't change political reality. The Ashbourne line is extinct by legal decree. She has no standing, no territory, no recognition. She's a refugee, and the mating arrangement between the Alpha and myself—" "Void." "Reese. One word." The room pivoted. "The arrangement is void, Marin. Even, not cruel, almost gentle. It's been void since the night she crossed my border." "You can't." "I can. She's my mate. The bond is confirmed. Pack law recognizes fated bonds above political arrangements." Marin's face. The viewer should feel for her. 6 years of work, 6 years of earning this, erased by something she couldn't compete with. "You knew." Marin's voice was quiet, controlled, barely. "This whole time, you knew what she was." "I knew she was hiding. I didn't know she was Ashbourne until last night." "But you knew she was your mate." Silence. The longest silence in the room's history. "Yes," he said. "I knew." Marin nodded once, collected herself visibly, spine straightening, chin lifting, the discipline of a woman who would not give them the satisfaction of breaking. She walked to the door, stopped, turned. "I hope she was worth it." Her voice didn't crack. "I hope she was worth everything I gave you." She left. Her heels clicked down the corridor and faded. Nobody spoke. Jace from behind Reese's chair very quietly. Well, that happened. After. Night. Moonlight on the compound grounds. Naya stood outside the main building, the quiet that follows earthquakes. He found her, because he always found her. He stood beside her, shoulder to shoulder, not touching, both looking at the same moon. "Jace wants a security briefing," he said. "He's concerned about Corvin retaliating." He should be. He also said, direct quote, "If you hurt the Ashbourne girl, I'll kill you myself, and I mean that as your beta and your friend." She almost smiled. "I like Jace." "Everyone likes Jace. It's very annoying." Silence. Moonlight. The compound humming its nighttime hum. "I don't know how to do this," she said. "Be someone. After 5 years of being no one." "I don't know how to do this either. Be real. After 5 years of performing." "We're a mess." "A matching set." She turned to him. He turned to her. His hand found hers. The bond hummed between them, steady, warm, alive. "I'm going to need time," she said, "to figure out who I am without the disguise. I'm going to need time, too, to figure out who I am without the charm. What if we don't like what we find? Then we'll figure that out together." She leaned into him. his arm wrapped around her shoulders. They stood in the moonlight, two people who'd spent years hiding, choosing for the first time to be found. Behind them, through the glass, the council chamber was empty. But Marin's chair was still pushed back from the table. Nobody had moved it. Nobody had noticed. And Naya's hand, the hand not holding his, as drifted to the back of her neck, to the bare skin where the scent patch used to be. She touched it lightly. A 5-year habit. The patch was gone. The gesture wasn't. She didn't notice. He did. He said nothing. They told her the Ashbourne line was dead, that the last heir was a ghost, that nobody survives alone for 5 years and comes back whole. They were right about one thing. She didn't come back whole. She came back real, and sometimes real is enough. Want more werewolf romance where the truth is more dangerous than the lie? Subscribe for new stories every week. Like this video if you believe some wolves are worth the risk. And tell me in the comments, should she have stayed hidden? Or was the truth always going to find her?